Hi, welcome back to the channel. As on this channel, you are getting information about DevOps and AWS. And in our recent videos, we have been discussing about how do we convert our Laravel application onto AWS. So here we have discussed on this video that cloning and deploy Laravel on EC2 instance. And then we have tested with couple of instances on AWS, and we have placed the application load balancer on it. So what if I tell you scaling your Laravel application on AWS has never been easier? In this video, I will show you how to set up an auto scaling group using an EC2 image with pre-configured Laravel application. So here the image we have created in our last video. So I will be using this image. We will attach it to the load balancer to ensure high availability and automatic scaling. Whether you are running a production grade level application or just getting started with AWS, this guide will help you optimize performance and reliability. Let's get this started. So in this video, we are first thing first, we are going to do these things before even creating this ASG. What I would like to do, I have also created a snapshot of my database earlier. So you could find this information here in this video, beginner's guide, moving your MySQL database to AWS. So from here, I have created this snapshot, and in the last video, I have used the same methodology to create a snapshot here in the last video. So let's come up here and try to restore a snapshot, and I will be putting the same database identifier name. It's going to be single DB because it's a test environment. Yeah, I will be selecting this. That is fine. Connectivity is fine. And it should be publicly accessible. So while it is creating, it might take some time to create this. So let's get back to our sheet that what we need to do. So creating an AWS auto scaling group for Laravel. In EC2, there is an ASG that we need to create, and for that we need this image for auto scaling group. Here it is, the auto scaling group. It's required the launch template. Here is the launch template. Just go to launch template and create a launch template. Just put a name. So this is the name I have put over here. Description, I will be putting the same. Let's enable it. Check this option. And now it is saying application and OS images. So instead of doing anything else, I have created my own image that I have shown you. So I'm going to select it. And instance type, it's similar like me creating an EC2 instance. So I will be using T2 micro. Key pair that I have created earlier in my videos, I will be using this key pair, and you could create a new key pair as well. Network setting, I'm going to use the existing security group, and that is a default one. So here the security group I have selected, and it's time to create the launch template. If you are enjoying this content and find it useful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's a small click for you, but makes a big difference for me. Thank you. So this has been created. A launch template is here. Now we are going to the auto scaling group and create the auto scaling. So here I don't have currently anything. Just create an auto scaling group and just name anything. I'm just putting ASG. And then here it is asking to select the launch template that we have created in our last step. So here is the launch template. And as soon as I have selected, it has bring all the setting that I have put over there. The security group, the default one I have selected. So it has only the one version, which is a default one. And then going next. And now it is asking, okay, BPC, it has detected the subnet and which subnet I want to have my application. So let's select all of it from here, but you have to select in which subnet you want to place your instance once it's been up. So here I have selected all of them. So availability zone distribution and balance best effort, that is fine. Leave it as is. And then here, do we want to attach a load balancer and no load balancer and attach to a new load balancer? So I don't have any existing one and I want to create a new one. So a new load balancer, and you can similarly uh, going to have the existing one as well, but I don't have any. So new load balancer, and then load balancer, it is asking either it could be application load balancer or network load balancer. I need an application load balancer, so it is here. So load balancer name, and then I'm just putting it like ALB, and then it is will it be an internal or the internet facing load balancer? It will be internet facing, so it is here. And whatever the subnets zone or the subnets in which my load balancer should listen. So I have selected all the subnets. So it is here. By default port is port 80, which is fine. And then default routing, that is fine. No need to do anything here. That is also fine. Leave everything as is. And then it is saying health check optional. Uh, just enable it. So that is fine. Just move next. One or more required field missing information. Type of value. What is it? Okay, we need to create a target group. I forget to create the target group. So let's create a target group. New target group. That is fine. And I'm just putting PG as a target group because target group is required for the load balancer. So now the desired capacity is scaling limit and minimum desired capacity and maximum desired capacity. So this one specify your group size, and let's say I just need one instance at a time. You could have 3-4 instances as well. So for the simplicity, I'm selecting a one. Minimum desired capacity is one, and maximum desired capacity, let's say I want two. So once it has the higher resource consumption, it will be creating another instance and it will automatically be load balance. So automatic scaling optional, choose whether to use target tracking policy, target tracking scaling policy. So I'm saying no policy here. So target tracking, instead of no policy, I'm selecting target tracking scaling policy name, average CPU utilization. So after a specific CPU utilization, it will power up or start a new EC2 instance. So by default, we have average CPU utilization, average network in byte, whatever the data comes in and whatever the data out, then we can select these values here, metric type and application load balancer request count per target. So if there are too many hits coming onto your application, and then you can similarly, because it hit directly will be coming off application load balancer. So whatever the hits come, the number of it, we could decide either we need to create another instance or not. And then custom cloud metric. So in custom cloud metric, you could have configure memory utilization as well. So whatever the memory has been utilized, and you can select that also. So I don't have any of these. So I'm selecting average CPU utilization here. And then whatever the CPU utilization, so uh, we could have 80% or 90% CPU been utilized, and then a new EC2 instance will be power up. So for the testing, I'm just putting 50. So after 50%, a new instance will be started. So instance warm up time in seconds, a CPU utilization at 50, and how long it should be on 50%. Then a new instance will be powered up. So by default, it is saying 300 seconds. So 300 second is about 5 minutes. So instead of this much time, just put 60 minutes. This is for our video for the lab that I am doing it. In actual, you have to decide as per your application and whatever you want to select. So here it is saying disable scale in to create only scale out policy. So if you select this, then once CPU utilization goes below 50%, so scale in won't be happening. So only scale out. So I'm not touching it because I want scale in as well. So as soon as the load is going to be high at the 50% or higher, a new EC2 instance will be created. And once a load been optimal or below 50%, that extra instance is going to be killed. So that is fine. I'm not going to change anything in here. Default capacity, that is fine. Just move next and create auto scaling group. And by the time this has been created and available, and all the setting that has been done inside the EC2 instance to access this database. So that was already been done, and then image of that RDS has been created. So once my EC2 will be up after this auto scaling group, I will have it over there. So it might take some time. Now it is creating or initializing an instance here. Let's see. And let's check about the load balancer as well. So here I have directly access using the IP address. So here is the IP address and I have directly access my application that I have configured earlier to use this database. So here is the application, and if I would like to do anything, like let's check if I'm able to delete anything. Yes, I'm able to do it. So it might take some time to provision my load balancer. Here is the load balancer, and it is automatically created the load balancer. But as you have remembered in the last video, I did configure something because if I'm not doing it, here is the last video. I'm referring about this application load balancer uh, in which I have created it. So the same thing I have to do it here in the target group, because since I will have two EC2 instance, then my instances will have the problem of CSRF token mismatch that I have discussed about in my last video in detail, and you could go there and check the video as well. So here uh, in attribute, I have to do this, the registration delay, and then you have to enable this turn on stickiness, and let's put it instead of the one whole day, just put it for the 2 minutes. This is good for my application since it is a testing application, but you could handle the session, Laravel application session, either this way, or there are other ways as well that you could use Elastic Cache Redis and JWT token as well. So here I'm using it. And since one more thing in health check, it is considering 200. But once I'm browsing my application here, 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 the first browse it is saying it is going to 302. So instead of a status code 200, the first thing it will get 302. So I have to configure 302 as well in the target group. And here I do have in the health check, I do have success code. It is currently focusing on 200. So I have to go here in advance, and along with 200, I have to select 302 as well. So that's it. It is in an initializing phase, and it is saying health check failed. Why? Because the code was 302 and I was been configuring this status code as well. So after a short while, it will be registered. So once it will be registered, we will be browsing it. So come to the load balancer and try to access it, access our application using this DNS address that this load balancer gives us. Now I'm able to access my application here and I can do anything like add any post. Yes, I'm able to do it. But as of now, I have only one instance. Since I have placed the auto scaling group, I do not need to power up manually. It should be powered up once a CPU load will be reaching at 50% or more. Either this instance been registered or not. So it will be registered soon. And in the meanwhile, we have to work about like need to create a CPU load. So if I go to monitoring, I believe will be no enough metrics to track anything. So CPU load, it is showing here at a 3%. So we have to increase it at 50%. So for this, I'm going to use this utility stress test. It comes up as a free utility, and this is how you are going to install it. And I will also add this document in the description below so you could use the same thing in your environment, in your lab as well. Now I'm going to access this system. Just increase the size and I'm going to access it. Why I'm using this DevOps and this all thing, I have discussed in my this video here, clone and deploy Laravel on AWS EC2, and you can find the detail in this video as well. So let's come back here and let's try to SSH into the system. Yes, I'm able to SSH into it. Now, what I need to do, I just need to install my stress testing things are over here. So it is saying sudo apt update. So update has been completed. Now I need to install this stress. So this has been installed. Now need to check, need to stress my CPU here. If I do htop, here it is at 2%. So let's do this. It is saying stress CPU 4, timeout 60. So what it will do, it will be stressing my 4 core of CPUs. But if I do check here in htop, I only have 1 core of CPU here since I have been using T2 micro. So here, let's put it. So instead of 4 cores, it will be 1. And how long it should be? Let's say for 120 seconds, for 2 minutes. Instead of 2 minutes, let's put a whole 5-minute thing here and then stressing my CPU up. So this is stressing up my CPU. Let's set that in the same instance that CPU is been up or not. So I'm going to log into the same instance here and do the htop because on the other console, the same command has been working. Now CPU is gone skyrocket and it is at 100% utilization. So we have put the setting in our auto scaling group that how long it should be at 100% or above 50%. Then another system is going to be started, automatic scaling. Here is the policy, automatic scaling policy, and it says instance need 60 seconds to warm up before including into the metric. So that means if the load will be keep at 50 or above 50% for a minute, then we should see another instance then powering up here. Let's go to EC2. Now this has been healthy. So let's see onto EC2 that another system will be powering up or not. So it should be. So let's wait. So now it has started another instance here. So it's automatically been initiated and soon it will be auto registered and in target group as well. So two targets, one healthy, one initializing state. So target registration is in progress. And let's see about it is saying the CPU load is at top. But in a meanwhile, another instance has been powered up. So this has been powered up, and my load balancer will be forwarding load or distributing load onto these two systems. So here, not this one. Here is the load balancer, and let's try to access it. Let's try to add a record. So I'm able to create a record as well. Yeah, post has been deleted as well, and I'm able to add and remove the post as well. So as I have seen here, as we have seen here, that it would take how long to cool down. Here, if I can show you, default cooldown is 300 seconds. So 300 seconds is about 5 minutes. So once the load will be lower than 50% for about 300 seconds, an additional instance that has been created here, it's gonna be killed. So it is just been started, so it might take some time to remove this instance by the auto scaling group. But in the meanwhile, we can learn about how this has been working. I have just created a small diagram to show you that how these things will be working. So here I had this diagram in place. So now how it has been working. So here all the user who are accessing a DNS address of my load balancer, which is here, a load balancer name, a DNS name load balancer. Here is the load balancer. So how it will be doing, I'm accessing it and DNS name. So DNS will be going to auto scaling group. So ALB will be going to the DNS. ALB will be going to auto scaling group, and it will be distributing a load like this, because since I have two EC2 instances with Laravel application, my application. So one request is going to be here, another one is here. So it will be auto scaling. So let's say if there is too much load and the load goes above 50%, so it will be creating another instance. So this is the same thing happened in our case. Another instance of the second instance has been powered up when the load went below 50%, which is in our case now. Again, load is less than 50% here. It's about 8%. So after some time, that sometime is a cool down period of 300 seconds. The second EC2 instance that is here is going to be killed. So we have to wait about it. And similarly, these two instances or whatever the instance will be created, I have put the maximum 2. So it will be 2. If I create an auto scaling group here, a maximum instance 3, that will be 3 instance. And these instances have the configuration to access the database here. So if I could show you that how this has been accessing. So here is my application, and let's investigate ENV, where we have defined our database connection and level. So here we do have our ENV. We have defined connection here. So it is in the image that we have created. So it will always be accessing a database. So that is why it is always accessing this database, that how many system it will be created. So this is the simplest diagram that how this all been working. So let's wait until this extra instance will be killed. So now one instance has been killed as scale n just taken. So now we have earlier two instances. Let's see, it's been scaled down to 1. Now it is scaled back to 1 instance as well. And that's how you set up an auto scaling group for your Laravel application on AWS. If you found this tutorial helpful, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future AWS and DevOps tutorial. Also drop a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for upcoming video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.